I've been involved with Cayena for 46 years now. And I was asked to tell an out-of-the-blue experience that happened to me early on when I was learning about southern Utah. I was attracted to southern Utah and had the opportunity to do some master planning at the Brian Head Resort and actually did a fair amount of building there in the years 1969 to 1976. And around I was either 1971 or 1972, I'm not sure which of those years it was, but I was living at Brian Head doing the work, but on the weekends or periodically I'd go down to the family home and we would celebrate Thanksgiving or some holiday weekend. This happened to happen in November, and it was Thanksgiving weekend. So we were always busy at Brian Head opening up for the skiing and opening up condominiums for rentals and so forth in November, and it was always hard to get away. But Thursday morning of Thanksgiving, 1971, I'm going to say, I grabbed one of our construction trucks early in the morning and headed out for Yorba Linda, California. It had been snowing up at Brian Head, it had been raining in Cedar City, it had been snowing on the Black Ridge, and I was pretty much used to driving in those kinds of conditions, probably driving faster than I should. But when I went through St. George and got on to Highway 91, the old highway, driving between St. George and Mesquite, out of the blue, I had an occurrence. The Virgin River Gorge was finished in 1973, so from time to time, I mean, what we would do is the only place to get from St. George to Mesquite was driving Highway 91 through over Utah Hill. And this particular morning was not different than any other time I'd ever driven, but as I was driving down 91 and approaching the intersection of where we turn into Anasazi Valley or about there, I inexplicably lost control of the truck that I was driving. It started fishtailing. And the result was that it fishtailed for a few hundred feet until it got sort of sideways and the front wheel of the right front wheel of the truck caught the shoulder and it spun the truck around and it rolled. And it rolled onto one of the dugways that we're all familiar with the banks that are part of the topography along 91. So when this occurred, first, as this was occurring, it was like slow motion. I thought I saw a blue Ford Econoline coming straight at me at first. And I have no idea how we missed one another, but somehow there was enough correction in the steering that I missed that truck, that van, and rolled. And when I rolled, it took me a minute to get my senses, but I realized that the truck was sort of teetering on the side of the hill, so I went out the passenger's side. I crawled up and out the passenger's window of the truck. And I kind of scrambled up this muddy bank to the top of the hill. And as I got to the top of the hill, I saw the property that I was familiar with. I'd looked at it before. I thought it was a really beautiful and interesting piece of property right above the Ivins Reservoir. I saw the Red Mountains, and it had been raining, but the sun just kind of burst through at that point in time. And I think, well, we've all seen it one time or another, those mountains just were a vibrant red terracotta, and the sky behind the mountains was black as could be. So in that vibrant red hill, I was looking at it and I thought, my gosh, this must be a sign. Am I still here? And I wasn't really sure, but I took a minute to pause and reflect and be thankful that I was still alive, and I just got back on the road. A friend came along and gave me a ride. I went on to Las Vegas and flew to California and had a great Thanksgiving.